Hey guys, how's it going? Evo's here. Chu and I just saw Pacific Rim. Awesome movie. If you haven't heard about it, it is essentially giant mech warriors versus alien sea creatures, and it is awesome. It is just a totally kick-ass movie. It's directed by Guillermo del Toro, awesome director. It's a fantastic movie. I'm going to talk about a couple of the things as to why specifically I like it while trying to avoid spoilers for the most part. It's a really good movie. Like I said, I really liked it. I didn't fully know what to expect. I honestly expected it to be a lot cheesier than what it was, simply because it is, giant robots versus giant sea creatures. You kind of expect just like giant sharks movies or something, but it was actually a pretty quality movie. The story itself may have had some shortcomings, but for what it was and what I expected from it, absolutely loved it. Some of the things that I really liked about it was very, there was the military in it. It was very military oriented for what, the Jaegers, the giant robots, they're called Jaegers. Yet there was no just in your face, I don't think there was any at all, but especially none in your face, just Army or Navy or military recruitment ads. Most of those movies have go join the Army, go join the Marines, blah, 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 ads right in the movie or right after the movie. There was none of that. It was really good. No one said the title of the film in the film. No one just came out and said, oh, it's Pacific Rim. That just kills the movie for me. None of that. There was no romance subplot. There was a male main character and a female main character, who I'm pretty sure, I haven't looked it up yet, but I'm pretty sure the female was the Chinese girlfriend of Scott Pilgrim in the movie Scott Pilgrim, and she even had blue-dyed tips of her hair, so that really threw me off, because I kept thinking about Scott Pilgrim the entire time. And yeah, that made the movie kind of weird, kind of trying to mix the two, but whatever. There was a male main character and a female main character, and there was no direct romance subplot. It was just, based on trust and friendship, and they even talked about that you gotta be able to trust your partner and things like that. But, even at the end, I'm not, again, no spoilers, but at the end there's something that could be taken as romance, but it wasn't directly romance. And they didn't, go huge out of their way to avoid romance either. It's not like they just completely cut out where there should be romance. It was just written well enough that you don't need romance. And I like to see that. I hate that nowadays movies have to have romance in them to interest people. That's stupid. Romance honestly kills some movies. There was no product placement as far as I can tell. I could be wrong, but there was no just major products shoved in your face, and that means that they got all the funding they needed without having to do crazy product placement. And product placement is another thing, just like with the title, that ruins it for me. It's just like, I'm drinking my Coca-Cola. Oh, no. No major pop culture references that would have been out of place in the movie. They did make some, what would have been pop culture references to the movie's universe, but nothing from, right here in this year. There was no major racist jokes or any sexual jokes or anything like that. They did make a joke about the aliens, the Kajut, I believe is what the Kaiju, however you say that. They did make some jokes about those, but those were more just jokes. They weren't even necessarily, if you consider the Kaiju a race, they weren't even necessarily racist jokes towards them. It was about their poop. It was more scientific or just poop. It was a poop joke. It wasn't a racist joke. Oh, sorry. There wasn't a whole bunch of America shoved in your face either. While there was America, there wasn't just like, oh, hey, America, fuck yeah. No, it was, if there were any nations mentioned, it was many different nations. There was America, there was Russia, there was Australia, there was China. I think they were speaking Japanese in some parts of the movie, so no America just rushed in your face. And there were no kisses. There were no kiss scene. The ending could have been a kiss scene easily, and it wasn't. The movie was really kick-ass. It wasn't too cheesy. It wasn't too overdone. So I really liked it. There was a weird thing about one of the main characters, where they make him seem like, I'm again trying to avoid spoilers as much as possible, but they just kind of throw in this fact that, as Chu put it, makes him an anomaly to the other characters in the universe. That makes him completely just like, there's a whole lot of backstory that would have had to been there to explain this thing they mentioned about him. And while there's some implications leading up to him having an interesting backstory, they don't fully get to explaining his backstory, and that's a little weird. What else was there? Oh, and then the theater I was watching it in, I don't know if all theaters did this, but the theater I was watching this in just really, I don't know, the volume was not right. It was kind of a less, we were doing it with some friends, so the theater itself wasn't as, high-tech as some of the theaters we usually go to. It was actually a 16:9 screen instead of the cinema, 1:24 ratio actual cinema widescreen. So it was only 16:9, it was probably only 1080p, and the audio was just a bit off. The narrator's voice was kind of hard to hear, and then there were a few dialogue lines that, normally, even in surround sound speakers like I have, the center audio puts out the dialogue, and it was really hard to hear some dialogue lines. And then the volume itself was just a little too loud. I think I got a really bad headache just from the loudness, and I may be sensitive to sound, but I'm not that sensitive, and it got really, really loud at some points. But that's nothing against the movie. That's just me. But really enjoyed it. Really fantastically put together. Definitely getting it on Blu-ray and adding it to my library. Let me know what you guys think about the movie if you have seen it in the comment section below. And if you're planning on seeing it, let me know. Just kind of getting your thoughts. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know as well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. My name has been Vox, and I am signing out, or whatever people say to close the videos. I am logging off.
Your suffering will be legendary.